Sometimes you only need a few minutes for your whole life to change. Happiness, peace of mind, freedom from anxiety, they arise from mental peace. So they arise when the mind is still. You must learn to meditate.
Welcome back to Mulligan Brothers. Today's video, as always, was sponsored by Huel. I'm drinking Huel Black Edition, which has 26 vitamins and minerals, 35 grams of protein and slow release carbs to make sure that I can stay satiated and proteined up whilst I make these documentaries. If you want to find out more about these, go to the link in the description. I'll talk about them a little bit later on in the video. How do we, use spiritual teachings and Buddhist teachings to help with anxiety?
Well, so there's a lot of different levels of anxiety, but in Buddhism, we talk of this mental factor or part of the mind that we call attention. There's two types of attention that make us suffer. One is called inappropriate attention, and one is called unstable attention. Unstable attention is when the mind doesn't focus, it doesn't pay attention to anything. It's when the mind just flits from one thing to the next. So, like if I were to ask you, how many things have you thought about since you woke up this morning? It would probably be millions, right? And it would all be just one thing moving into the next, like a stream of nonsense, probably. Like, not you in particular, but...
There's been a few thoughts.
But like, you're like, it's like a bad radio station that's playing in the background of our life. Memories, colors, words, sounds, thoughts, like a stream, and it's just evolving, one thing into the next. It's not like if I say to you, how many things have you thought about today? You're not going to say 3. It's millions. And most of those things you won't remember, which shows that at no point are we locking onto anything. So we call this flitting from one thing to the next, unstable attention. Now we're trying to remember, like, happiness, peace of mind, freedom from anxiety, they arise from mental peace. So they arise when the mind is still. But we suffer from unstable attention, which means we're trying to build a happy life on moving ground because we have this stream of thoughts performing a backdrop or functioning as a backdrop to our life. Now, if you introduce to that some worries, we can't process the worries because it's already turbulent in our mind. So that's what's intensifying those feelings of anxiety. Now, one of the things that feed both unstable attention and turbulent mental states is distraction. And we're living in an age of addictive technology, which is feeding the unstable attention and the turbulent states of mind. Now, because it makes us feel uneasy, we seek relief from the uneasy feelings that we're having, and then we seek that relief by going to more distraction. Sometimes we look in the fridge, sometimes we put the television on, but mostly we're scrolling. And that's constantly just feeding. It's giving us a very, very short-term distraction from the unpleasant experience of that, but ultimately it's making it worse, and this is what's making the mental health issues increase. I'll come back to that. That's unstable attention. The other type of attention we have is called inappropriate attention. Now, inappropriate attention is when the mind does lock onto something, and it does become still, but it's focusing on something that makes us miserable, like someone who harmed us. Like if there's someone who's harmed us at work, maybe at 2 o'clock in the morning, we're single-pointedly focusing on how they've harmed us. And that fuels all of our insecurities and our negative states of mind. Or maybe it's someone that we're attached to, like maybe someone who we want in our life, but they don't want to be in our life. Or someone we want in our life, but we suspect they're moving away from us. Again, 2 o'clock in the morning, single-pointedly focused, just focused on it, just crippling us. So like, for as long as we have these two types of attention, we are condemned to experiencing emotional problems such as anxiety. Now, the solution to the first one, unstable attention, is must learn to meditate. Like, even if it's just breathing, just focusing on the breath inside the nostrils, even if it's just 5 minutes. Because once we can introduce to our mind a stillness that comes from focusing on the breath, we will start to realize there's another way. Sometimes you only need a few minutes for your whole life to change. So that's one. And then with the inappropriate attention, that's where we need to then extend our meditation to the stages of the path, to start thinking like love over attachment, or acceptance over anger, or understanding that things are created through, we are architects of our existence, the wish to use difficulties to shape who we are, to shape our character. Like these spiritual matters become the antidote to our inappropriate attention. So all in all, it's like it all comes as part and parcel of introducing a spiritual dimension or a spiritual component to your life.
If you're like me and millions of other people, you probably lead a busy life, and that's where this stuff comes in absolutely clutch. I know that I just scoop, shake and go, and I'm ready for my day. There are other companies that are trying to do what Huel is trying to do, but they use cheap ingredients. Sometimes it requires you to take 15 pills, or preparing food, trusting supplements with subpar ingredients, and also taking 15 pills a day is just something that we don't all want to do. That's where Huel makes health possible. Black Edition has 40 grams of protein in, 26 vitamins and minerals, and every single ingredient inside this has been carefully selected by Huel's expert team. So you know you're getting the good stuff. Don't just take my word for it. Millions of other people around the world are now using Huel as part of their daily routine. People like Idris Elba, Stephen Bartlett from the Diary of a CEO, Hardest Geezer, the man who ran the entire length of Africa, was using this stuff. If you want to join the movement, go to the link down below where you can get a free t-shirt, a free shaker, and also if you subscribe to Huel, you can get 10% off every single order. This is next freaking level. Go get some. Is there anything in the teachings of Buddha that explain the feeling of it being nice to give without expectation, it feeling nice to help others?
Absolutely, yeah. Like so we would call this we'd call this the practice of virtue. Virtue means main cause of happiness. When you practice giving, you can feel the virtue going in as an uplifted mental state. I mean, the best example is Christmas, like, or any time when you practice giving. Like, if you are practicing giving, right? Like, say there's someone in your life that you love, and you find the best present for them. The joy that you get from seeing their face, and you give them that gift, far outweighs any low-grade sense gratification from receiving. Do you know what I mean? Like
100%.
Whatever they give you, it's sense gratification. Whether it's a piece of jewelry or a box of chocolates or some socks or whatever it is, it's low grade. It's just it's sense gratification. But the joy that you can bring to someone when you see them smile because you've got them the gift you know that they will delight in, that is pure happiness. And that's virtue. You're putting something powerful into your heart when you do it and you can feel it. It's only when you die that you know whether you've lived a good life. The most definite thing, no matter who you are, what your background is, what you believe, what you don't believe, the most definite thing that's going to happen is death.
What are the practical steps to inner peace?
You should make every decision as though you were making it on your deathbed.